When it comes to bathrooms, you can go ordinary or you can go exceptional, and we did blow it out on our project house. So you can see it's a beautiful bathroom. It's huge as far as size. We got a lot of limestone that we used on the floors. Also used it for some surrounds on our fireplace. Now when you get to our bathtub, we went big just like the rest of the bathroom. And this is actually a tub from Americh. And what's special about it is it can either shoot water or shoot air. Down here you can see the actual air jets in the bottom. And that gives a real soothing feel. And then here on the side, you can actually see the water jets for that whirlpool feel. Over here, we've got a fixture that's very unique. It's from a company called Herbeau Creative of America. Now, Herbeau is actually a French company. It's 140 years old. And a lot of the designs that they do now are actually stuff they originated over 100 years ago. So you can see we've got separate handles for hot and cold. And in the center, we've got a ball. And in this brass fixture, that's where the water mixes together, and that brass helps dissipate some of the heat so it's not too hot when it first comes out. Really, really nice fixture. Herbeau is a great company. They also did our sinks that we've got in here. Take a look at this. At Herbeau, they actually have molds in the shape of the sinks made out of wood. And they place the weathered brass on top of that wood, and they actually pound it into the shape of the mold itself. And that's how you end up with this gorgeous sink. Now our faucets are, again, 19th century style. We've got our common ball joint there in the middle to mix the waters together and again dissipate part of the heat. Really a nice looking sink and faucet combination. How do you like this for the shower floor? A beautiful tile mosaic. We got it from Walker Zanger, and this is actually tumbled marble from Tuscany, and it looks beautiful. Now it looks like a lot of little pieces that we did by hand, but we didn't do by hand. They actually did it at Walker Zanger because it has a mesh on the back side of it. So we just put it in place as one unit and then grouted over it. It looks great. Now we also have our Herbeau fixtures in the shower itself to match the rest of the master bathroom. And we've got something here that's a little different. We actually have shower nozzles at different heights, so we hit the whole body at one time. Now when you do something like this, it's a little different from an ordinary shower because you need to run a 3/4 inch pipe instead of a 1/2 inch pipe. The reason for that is volume. It doesn't increase water pressure, but we need more water since we have more places where the water is going to exit out of the pipe itself. One other thing that you need to do is actually loop the pipe back into the system. If you just have it come up like you normally would for a shower and just one place to come out, we'll have a lot more pressure down here than we will on these nozzles up here. So you actually loop it and go back down in the water pipe so we have even pressure and even water coming out at all of these nozzles at the same time. In the laundry room, we went with more Herbeau, both for our fixtures and for our sink itself. But instead of using a metal sink, we've got a hard fire clay farmhouse style sink. The reason we went with clay is because it's nearly indestructible. They fire this to 800 degrees, so you can drop things in it. It's not going to crack, it's not going to scratch, we're never going to break it. Good quality sink. With the fixtures, you got that 100-year-old look to it, the old pump style. You used to pump it to get the water to come out. This one, of course, much easier because people are lazier nowadays. And we've got a spray rig also. Very, very nice. In our cabana bath, we went with a totally different style sink. This is actually called a pompadour design, where it loops over. We have our faucets here, but the whole thing is suspended basically in the air. There's no cabinet below it where we run our plumbing pieces, so we've really got to plan ahead. We need to know exactly what height we're going to set the sink at. We need our plumbers to bring the pipes up in the wall where we can't see it behind our natural stone here, and then bring it out at exactly the right height. That way, whenever we're using the sink and we're walking around it, we're not seeing pieces of plumbing. It all disappears in the wall. Here in our guest bathroom, we have some more Herbeau, but it's a little different than the rest of the house. We actually have a clawfoot tub that's freestanding, and nothing touches the walls. No part of the tub itself, and no part of our fixtures. As you can see, it routes right back down into the floor. So just like in our cabana bath, we had to plan ahead exactly where the tub was going to set and exactly where we wanted the plumbing to go because we didn't want anything that doesn't look right showing. We want it to be really clean and look really sharp. And up above, we also have something really nice. We've got a curtain suspended basically where it doesn't touch any part of the wall. It hangs from the ceiling and goes all the way around the tub to stop any moisture from getting outside. Here in our hall bath, we have a very unique sink from Kohler. So you can see it's got expanded sides on it. It's a very elongated pattern. Now you've got to have enough countertop for this. You don't just find one in a design center and say, hey, put this in. You've got to plan ahead so it doesn't overpower the whole countertop. Here we have a faucet. It's actually comes from a company called California Faucets, and it's an oil rubbed bronze. So you can see it almost has a satin finish to it. Very unique looking faucet. We also have another tub from Amrich, and what's really special about this one is it has the Whirlpool jets in it, but it's one you can retrofit into your own home. It's basically the size of a standard tub, and all you really need is to have a skirt that you can put up here and access to get underneath it, because there is a pump in there, and you don't have to hardwire it into your electric in your house. It has a plug-in, so as long as you have an outlet and you have enough room to set the tub in and put this skirt on it, you're ready to go with the Whirlpool tub in basically any bathroom. Well, in our kitchen, just like our bathrooms, we used a lot of natural stone from Walker Zanger. This is really nice and very different. This is called Aqua Forte. It came from Argentina, but they actually etched this pattern in these 4 pieces with water. And if you run your finger across it, it's smooth there, and then whenever you get to where there's color, it's actually rough. That's actually been cut out with high pressure water. And they come back and hand stain it, and it looks great. It really highlights our kitchen. Now, last but not least, we've got our country kitchen sink. Now, it's really nice. It's actually made out of copper, but as you can see, the finish is a little different than ordinary copper. It doesn't have this shiny look to it. That's because they hand brushed and then dipped this in a solution so that we get a nice, even change in our finish. It all ages at the same time. Back in the back, we have a brass faucet. Now, this is not a last-minute add-on. Unlike an ordinary faucet, we don't have our normal hookup for it. This is actually in the wall, and we had to plan for this ahead of time to make sure we hit the exact right spot, and then we had the right kind of pipes and the right joints that are protruding out of here to hook up this style of faucet. Hope what you learned from this segment is you can do anything in your kitchens and bathrooms as long as you plan ahead. You take a little time, pick out all your fixtures and your sinks and your tubs before you get started, show them to your builder, make sure everything's in the right place, and you can have an awesome looking kitchen and bath.